Okay, hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. Thanks for being on our team call tonight. We are super excited tonight because we have a really, really special guest. I posted in our Facebook group just a little bio about her that I'm gonna, I'll go ahead and read because some of you may not have seen it since you're in different Facebook groups. But just to start off, Nicole Carpenter and I have known each other for a very long time, like maiden name, like that long ago. So she is just a very wonderful dear friend of mine that I've known for a long time, and I'm so excited that she's treating us tonight. So a little bit about Nicole. She just is so passionate about what she does. So she loves to help overwhelmed moms find their identity, help them manage their time so they can chase their dreams while they still nurture their family, which is just a really cool thing. She's a mentor, she's a speaker, she's also the founder of momentity.com. It's a blog and an online community for mothers, reaching out to moms in over 7 different countries, which is really cool. She's also the creator of Define Your Time management course that helps women manage their time, balance their life, and get more done. And she, those of you who are local here, you might have also seen that she's a columnist in our local paper. Goodness sakes, woman, she's really cool. And this is the most breaking news. She's the best-selling author of the book, 52 Weeks to Fortify Your Family, 5 Minutes. So cool. It was such a fun day to see the really cool stuff happening when her book launched. But she considers her most important role, of course, that of being a mom and also being a wife to her super cute husband. So we are just thrilled to pieces. I told her that I was just going to let her fly for, 20, 25 minutes or however long she wants to have. And you guys, of course, we'll have time at the end if you've got some questions or maybe along the way. I mean, this is whatever format Nicole decides because I just love her that much. I'm going to let her take the reins. Sound good?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Lisa. Yeah, we won't even tell them all of the stories that we could share.
No, it's really good.
So keep that a secret. But I just love Lisa, and it's so fun to reconnect as we both do our professional thing and just help each other and support each other. And so I'm so glad that you trust me enough, Lisa, to share me with your friends tonight. I'm grateful to be here. I love to help women. I like to help women to achieve their goals and their dreams. And of course, in order to do that, they have to first provide for their family and be able to take care of the family that they have responsibility for. But if we're living in this zone of chaos, then we have a really hard time managing our family and our business. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how we can find that balance between our business and our family. And as I was messaging Lisa today, and like, what should we talk about? She was like, are you going to talk about the mother love and the self-love? And truthfully, we could talk a whole nother night about that. So I've got some goodies for everybody listening on this call. So Lisa, I don't know if there's if I should have them email me, or do you have a master list of everybody that listens in on the call? What's the best way to do that?
You know what? I can gather them all up since this call is combined with some other teams. I'll just have them maybe posted on our thread and get them to you. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah, that works. So just leave your email on the thread, or you can email me if you're worried about not being able to get that. I want to email you out all of the goodies that I have. One of which is a mom relief kit that goes over the foundational basis of Momentity. Momentity was founded 2.5 years ago when I hit a rock bottom, and the steps that I use to get myself out of that funk are the same things that I teach at Momentity. So I have a mom relief kit that I want to send all of you. That's a guidebook and an audio training that talks about all that self-love stuff that we were talking about. I want to make sure that you have access to that. And I've got some other fun printables that are going to go along with tonight's training that I want you to have. So my email is hello@momentity.com. That's MOMENTITY.com. So you're welcome to email me and give me your email address, or I'll connect with Lisa and we'll get that email address as well. So you're in the right place today if you think all day about the things that you need to do as a health coach, but then you never actually get to them. Or you do those things, but your mind is always going all the time, and you're not able to separate work and family. You are in the right place today if you feel like you're in complete chaos, whether your life is chaotic or your business is chaotic. And you're in the right place today if you feel like you need better quality time with your kids. I don't know how many of you can relate to that. I hope some of you can. You're in the right place if you want to do some big, amazing things, but you just don't have the right time or enough time. And you're in the right place if at the end of the day, when your head hits the pillow, your brain is so full of all of the things that you didn't do, the things you didn't do for your business, the things that you didn't do for your family, that mom guilt or business guilt that just racks your mind. So today I'm going to share, hopefully we have enough time to share 3 key principles to help you manage your time with less guilt. That sounds all right to you? Does that sound good? I hope so.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Oh, good. One little voice. That's so comforting to know that I'm not just speaking to my webcam. Hello, webcam. No, it's okay. I love it. I can see Lisa's beautiful face too.
Yeah, we're here.
So the first key principle I want to share with you tonight is understanding your roles. And this is one of the big things that we often neglect or we just glaze over. So Mom Entity is founded on 6 mom resolutions. And mom resolution number 3 is define and protect my roles. Now what this means is defining what are the different categories, the different responsibilities that you have in your life, and then protecting those. And it is so important to know the things that we're responsible for and to not neglect them. We also need to have a clear vision of who we are and what we do. I love this quote by Amy Lynn Andrews. She's another author, and she writes, roles are who you are, activities are what you do in your roles. And where you're business owners as well, you have even more roles. So we have to be able to handle all of the roles that we have in our life. So if you have a piece of paper, grab it and a pen. And what I want you to do is to write out your roles. Now, some examples of role would be health coach, mom, spouse, and maybe you're an employee, maybe you have another job as well, home manager, community leader, and these are all the different roles that you might have, PTA president. So go ahead and write out all the roles. And does anybody want to share what they have written down? Do you want to share what are some of your roles? I know that Lisa has worked with me really closely on this, and so she already knows what her roles are. What are some of the roles on your list?
I have mother, photographer, health coach, home manager, like that, and primary president.
Okay, that's a great start.
I'm not sure if I'm not hearing.
There. Oh wait, I was mute somehow.
Oh.
All right, I'm on mute. Can you hear me now? Thumbs up?
We can hear you.
Excellent. Those are some great roles. So there's one role that everybody leaves off of the list, and that's yourself, your individual self, or your self-care. So that needs to be the number one role that you have. And as women, this is one of the hardest things for us to put on the top of our list because we do want to care for everyone else around us. But it's really important that we put ourself on that list. So yourself needs to be number one. And then from there, you can organize and prioritize the rest of your roles. But while we're on this call, I want to point out something that's really important. And that is the difference between being a mom and being a home manager. So many of us forget to separate the two. And what that looks like when we forget to separate the two is we spend all day cooking, doing laundry, mopping the floor, running carpool, paying bills, and we get to the end of the day and we wonder why our kids are clingy and needy and ornery, or why we hit the pillow at the end of that night and we can't even remember any of the quality moments that we had with our kids. That is because you spent all day being a home manager instead of a mother. Now, you thought you were being a mom because you were cleaning up after those messy kids and you were making sure that those messy kids had warm, hot food on the table. But if you don't take time to be the mom, then you're not fulfilling your children's needs for a mother. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's really important that you separate the two. You have mom, and then home manager or homemaker or home CEO or whatever you want to call it. It's totally up to you. But it's just really important that you separate those. So you list out all of the roles that you have, and then I want you to prioritize them. Number 1 would be yourself, and then go down from there. And how you prioritize that is up to you. It's totally up to you. But it's important to know what your top 6 or top 8 roles are. So go ahead and write a number down on your list, like number down your list. And what you may realize is that you have way too many roles. You might also be a caregiver and a sister and a neighbor. So you have to look and see which of your roles are most important. And then of those most important roles, which ones are not getting enough of your time. That is really important. And then we go into so much more detail about this in our Define Your Time program. With the clients that I work with, they say that figuring out their roles and their values is actually where a lot of the change happens. They have these transformational moments where they realize that their life doesn't match their values. And you have a lot of disconnect if that's the case that you're in, if your life doesn't match your values. So we prioritize our roles, and now we have to protect our roles. And this can be so hard to do. And so whether that's hard to do because we are a woman, I'm not sure. But a lot of times as women, we have a hard time saying no because we want to please everyone. I don't know if you can relate to that or not, but one of the things that is important for everyone to know is how to say no respectfully without guilt. Now, if we were in a big room right now, I'd ask everybody to raise their hand who had problems with this, and you'd see at least half of the room with their hands in the air. So assuming that at least half of you on this call also have problems saying no because you feel guilt about saying no, I would love to share with you a secret, well, it's not secret, a cool formula to help you say no respectfully. Does that sound cool? I think everybody's mute. So I'm just going to assume that y'all said yes and move on. So this is a really awesome formula. It's a positive no formula. And this is how you can say no and mean it and still save all of those relationships. Because if you're going to be successful as a mom, and if you're going to be successful as a business owner, then it's crucial that you protect those 2 roles as well as the other top roles that you have, and you don't let anything else get in the way of those important roles. So the first part of this formula is yes. This is yes, no, yes formula. It's pretty simple. And the first yes is actually a 2-part yes. So first we're going to say yes to ourselves. You're going to say yes to those other commitments that you already have. You're going to say yes to Take Shape for Life. And you're going to say yes to your children, and you're going to say yes to your spouse. And you're going to choose to protect those roles that are most important to you. So that yes is all kind of in your head. It's a mental yes at first. And then the second part of that first yes is where we answer with a positive acknowledgement. So we are going to say yes in our rebuttal to the person who's asking us. Excuse me. So let's work through an example. One of the examples I use is a bake sale, but all my clients, they keep telling me, Cole, we don't do bake sales anymore. So I'm a little behind the time. So do we have somebody on the call that has an example of a time that they said yes when they wanted to say no? And we'll work through that as an example. Might have to unmute yourself. Does anybody have an example of a time that you said yes when you wanted to say no? And if not, I'll just make one up.
Can I give one?
Okay.
I don't want to be the only
one.
Yeah,
please, give one.
This is not happening right now, but once I had a friend who was going through nursing school and she needed somebody to watch her kids. And I kind of didn't really want to say yes, but I did. And it was horrific. Like dropping her kids off at 6 a.m. and it was just like, it was a nightmare. Yeah. And then then I had the guilt later on of having to get out of it and bail.
Okay. This is a really hard one. So this is a good example. So first, we're just going to say that I'm one in nursing school. No, Lisa's the one in nursing school, and I'm the one that she's asking to watch her kids. So Lisa would say to me, Nicole, I'm just really excited that I got accepted into nursing school. And I know that you just live down the street. And I was wondering if there's any way that you can watch my kids while I'm in school. Now, this is a really complicated situation, but it's a lot harder than a bake sale. But you can still use this yes, no, yes formula. So first, you're going to acknowledge that with a positive acknowledgement. So I would say, Lisa, thank you so much for trusting me with your kids. All right. So that's our first acknowledgement. We have said yes to them, not the yes that they want, but we have acknowledged them positively. Thank you so much for trusting me, or thank you so much for thinking that I would be a good fit for your children. And then the next step in this process is a no. And this is where we convey a very clear no. We have to be honest. We set boundaries. We have to let them know that we mean what we say, and we have to avoid maybe at all cost, because maybe means yes, right? If they just keep asking. So the next part then would be, I would say, thank you so much for thinking that I would take such great care of your kids. Unfortunately, I'm busy with my own business that I actually run out of my house, and I will not be able to help you out with that. Now, that's going to be a really hard thing to say because you're being honest. But please make sure that you don't blame time. Don't throw time under the bus. Don't say, well, I just don't have enough time, because we have time for the things that we want time for. So what you want to do is teach or say the things that you mean. If it's because you don't want to have them, then say that. But like I said, I run my business out of my home, and I wouldn't be able to watch your kids during the day. And then the third part of that formula is a yes. And this is where you acknowledge their friendship and we affirm the relationship, or you provide another solution. So maybe you don't want to watch your kids at all, and you can say, but I really value our friendship, and I'm sorry that I'm unable to help you. And then that is a way that we can end that and affirm the relationship. Or if you are really willing to help and you have another solution available, say, however, since Friday is early out day, my kids are home anyway, I'd be happy to watch your kids on Friday, but I'm only available on Friday. So then that's your way of deciding how you want to handle the situation. You don't have to go back with another option. You can end it without providing another option. You do what's comfortable to you and what is true to your own values. John C. Maxwell says, learn to say no to the good so you can say yes to the best. And that's what we're doing here by learning to say no respectfully. The second thing that we can do, the second key principle, is to block your time. And this is really important. But once again, if I could ask you to raise your hands, I'd ask how many of you are working out of your house. I know it's a high percentage of you. And that is a really hard thing to do. It's so much easier to just pack your bag and leave and then come back and be mom when you come back. So time blocking is really important, because what you want to do is create time during your day to be those different roles. So look at those different roles and think, when am I going to be health coach? When am I going to be mom? When am I going to be wife? When am I going to be home manager? And block those roles into your day. And then this helps on multiple levels. It eliminates that guilt that you have, because you know that you are mom in the morning or whenever you decide, but you're out pushing the kids on the swings. And instead of it's so hard to push kids on the swings for more than 5 minutes without your mind wandering, right? And it's hard to stay present in the moment. But you can stay present in the moment if you know, instead of thinking, oh, I need to check my email. Oh, I need to call that gal back and see how she's doing. Instead of thinking all of those things, you can just stay present in the moment and know, no, I've got 20 more minutes where I get to be with my kids. And then I get to make these phone calls after lunch. And so when you separate your day into that, it helps your brain to realize when you're working and when you're not working. And it helps helps free up that mental energy that you spend making phone calls that you don't make. I mean, you're running those scripts of those phone calls through your head. And then by the time you actually get on the phone and make that phone call, you're spent. So if we can keep our time blocked out like that, it can release guilt and it can save mental energy and it can help us stay present in the moment. So that is really important. So what are some things that you want to time block? Or how can you see the value in time blocking? Do any of you have any ideas of some things that you'd like to start time blocking?
I know that with my business as being a health coach and a photographer, I for sure need to time block because I feel like I will consume my whole day with editing my pictures, and then I feel like my health coaching is completely lacking. And so I know it's so important that I need to time block, and really I know that would benefit, you know, all of my businesses, and they can all thrive at the same time rather than one feel like it's thriving and one feel like it's lacking all the time.
I love that. That's a great example. And it is easier said than done. Like, you have to be disciplined. And I suggest that you actually take out a calendar, like a week view. And I have a printable that I'll send out to all of you via email. But you take the printable and you actually block on your calendar. And if you're a color person, grab some color pencil, even assign each roll a different color. So when you look really quickly, you can say, oh, I'm editing pictures early Monday morning and late Tuesday night, or whatever, whenever you want to fit that in, so that you know that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And then Crystal, you may also want to add a timer to help you stay on track, because I'm sure that when you're editing photos, you lose complete track of time. Yeah. So you could throw a timer in there too to help you stay on track with your time blocks. Thank you so much. Anybody else have an example that they want to share?
Well, I just have to say, like, when I am good about practicing this, I feel so much mental relief, you know, that I kind of have my day or my week planned out. You know, I'm not a super scheduled person. I like to have some flexibility, which I think, you know, is a lot of why we work from home. We enjoy that. Yeah. And you can definitely still have that, but I like to, it just helps me like not have the burden, and especially like that I have it all down on paper, you know, the things that I'm doing, instead of trying to keep track of all of it in my head.
Yeah. And be honest with yourself. I remember a conversation that Lisa and I had about this before. We were talking about how crazy Sundays are and how the day just gets out of control, and how in our businesses, oftentimes like Monday has to be like the go, go, go day. But honestly, if you're trying to recover from Sunday, Monday is sometimes a hard day to like hit the phones and hit the date book and do those things that you need to do. So she was saying, like, she just let herself, she let herself be okay with Monday not being her go, go, go day. And then I don't know if you still practice that or not, but that's brilliant. You just have to look at yourself and be realistic and think, okay, when can I block this into my time? And how can it be realistic and comfortable with my real life?
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't have to do what you think you have to do. Do what feels good for you. And then another part of time blocking is time batching. We're just going to skim over that tonight because we don't have the time to talk about time batching. But truthfully, just make sure you're doing like things all at once. So if you edit photos the whole time that you're doing that. If you're making sales calls, make sales calls the whole time. If you're emailing clients, email clients. Like, don't just jump back and forth. If you're on Facebook, stay on Facebook, do what you need to do, and then leave. Don't leave it open and go back and forth and back and forth. We need to batch our time so that we can accomplish those things that we need to do and really be effective. So just think about some of this. You don't have to share with me, but just think in your mind the things that you know you need to time batch that you're not doing. Is it a blog post that you write every week? Could you write 3 of those at a time? Like, what is it that you're not doing that you could batch and save time? This goes with the home as well. I mean, you could clean all the toilets in one go and just carry this stuff with you and save time. But since we're focusing on our businesses today, what in your business can you time batch that you're not currently doing? The third key principle that we're going to talk about today is making a list. I love making a list, but making a list the wrong way can actually be worse than not making a list at all. So there is a right way to make a list. There's a couple different right ways, one of which we're going to talk about today. Oh, there goes my speaker. We're going to talk about a 6 most important list. Go ahead and nod your head if you've heard of a 6 most important list before. Okay, I know Lisa has. We've talked about it. And I actually learned about this when I used to be a Mary Kay consultant years ago. And Mary Kay Cosmetics is really good about teaching some time management tips to their employees. But this isn't Mary Kay's idea. This is actually a 100-year-old business principle that we can use as moms and in our own business. So as the story goes, in the early 1900s, Charles Schwab was the head of Bethlehem Steel. And, oh, Lisa, do we only have 10 minutes left? Do we just have 10 minutes left?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's where, yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, I'm going to actually skip this part then. We're going to skip make list, and I'll send you out the printable, and you can still use that. And I've got an article about it too, so I can send you information on that. So what I want you to think about as we talk about time management, what are your biggest struggles with time management? What is holding you back in your business? And is it affecting your relationship with your children or your spouse? And how might your business run if you could better manage your time? And how much more money could you make each week or each month if you had a better balance of your time? So really taking control of our time can affect our relationships, our pocketbook. It can really have a great influence on so many different areas of our life. So with that in mind, I want to quickly talk about something I call the balance cycle. When you think of balance, and we say like, I want balance in my life, and I've even mentioned that word here tonight, but when you think of balance, it's not actually balance as it really exists. When you think of balance, you think of like a ballerina doing these perfect pirouettes, spinning round and round and round, right? And she's beautiful and she never falls and she's got it all under control. Or maybe you think of a tightrope walker and they take one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and it's perfect. Excuse me. And they never fall. But balance doesn't look like that at all. Life balance actually goes a lot more like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. And we just have to have the tools in place to be able to handle that down and even handle the corkscrews and the upside down that the roller coaster does. So if we have those tools in place, then we can manage our time so much better. And this is one of the things that I help moms everywhere do, is get the tools that they need to ride that roller coaster and to keep their hands and legs inside at all times and enjoy the ride. So tonight I wanted to talk just a tiny bit about a program that I have called Define Your Time. It's a 4-week online time management program just for busy women. I know I've worked with Lisa in that program, and she gave me permission to share that with you tonight because she thought it would be really helpful to you in your business. Define Your Time goes into so much detail on your roles and your values, the systems, calendaring, daily systems, weekly systems, monthly systems, even meal planning. So it's a great program that is all web-based, and you have access to it at your fingertips. Normally the program is over $700, but obviously we women, we can't afford that, not when we've got our kids to outfit with school clothes and such. So the program is only $97. That includes audio and video trainings for 4 entire modules of this program, as well as a 32-page downloadable workbook that you can keep and have access to forever. And this program would be right for you if you're really ready to make a change and you want a better handle on your time so that you can be better at your business. If you're tired of the chaos, this would be a good fit. But if you're not ready to make those improvements, then we're only looking for those people, those women that really want to make a difference in their home, starting with their time. So I wanted to offer you, as friends of Lisa's, something special. So instead of $97, I'm going to take 15% off. So it would just be $82.45, actually $82. And for everybody that joins tonight, I'm going to include a special CD download, an audio training CD that I have. I'll send you the audio too of how to unlock your dreams. And then I'm going to add in a live Q&A at the end of the program. So after the 4-week program, we'll do one live call with me, and you'll get a chance to ask me any questions that you have. And that's not included in the home study course. So that should be a fun bonus. So if you think that this would be a good fit for you, you won't find a lower price than this, then feel free to email me at hello@momentity.com and we'll get you started. And then I did want to leave some time for questions. We talked about that. So looks like we've got about 5 minutes left. So if you have any questions about either the program or time management or your roles, go ahead and fire them out and I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Well, I just want to tell you, Nicole, thank you so much, first of all, for that really incredible offer. And yeah, I have, I've worked with Nicole through this, and she has incredible content. And what I love is, just that, just like we as health coaches, we're there to help people that maybe don't know what they're doing when they're starting on their health goals. And it's great that you don't have to be an expert in anything. And so she really has just tapped into expertise on really helping you define your time and help you prioritize those things. And I also want to just tell everybody on the team, I know, and I've spoken with lots of you, obviously I'm not all of your individual mentor coach, but I know that you became a health coach for a reason. I know you have big goals and big dreams, and maybe it's just, it doesn't have to be anything monumental, but I know that you all have things that you want to accomplish with your business. And I think it's so important, especially as a woman, to give yourself the permission to want what you want, first of all, and to know that it's okay for you to have both. And that's what I love so much about Nicole's platform, is that, a lot of times you'll see, answer this question, is a man required to choose between a career and being a good dad?
No.
He gets to do both, right? He lives in an and universe. And guess what? We live in the same universe. So you can be a mom and you can have a successful career. And so I'm so glad that Nicole has really helped just move that message forward, that yeah, you get to have it all.
Yep, absolutely. So does anybody have a question before we end?
Hey, well, can you just tell everyone, so if they're interested in doing your program with you, they just need to email you at that email address, is that right?
Yeah. Email me at hello@momentity.com. That's momentity.com. We'll get you registered. It's just $82 right now, and that was only good for a couple days. So if you want one of these spots, then that'll be helpful for you and your team as well. It will help you be a better leader.
Awesome.
Because you'll be able to manage your own time.
Okay, and I'll make sure I get that info put in our groups too for everyone that that's listening on the recorded call.
Excellent. Thanks so much for having me, Lisa. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I just appreciate your time. I'm so glad that my team got to see your beautiful face that I get to see more often than they do, but it's been wonderful. If you have any questions, or obviously you've got Nicole's info, so you can shoot her stuff.
Yeah, and let's do this too. If you've got any questions, go ahead and take them back to your Facebook group that you have. And Lisa and I are Facebook friends. So take any questions to your Facebook group. And then if there are questions that Lisa doesn't know how to answer, because as an alumni of the program, then send me the questions, Lisa, and I'll answer them.
Okay.
Will that work?
That's perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Hey, thanks everybody for being on the call. It was awesome having you here.
Thank you.
Okay,
you're welcome. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you later.
Okay,
bye-bye.